Welcome to Tigers Untapped, a Bluff City Media podcast. Stepping up to the microphones are your hosts, Trey Lasley and TJ Willis. Pull up your chair, grab your favorite brew, and enjoy the conversation. Now, let's get to the show.
Welcome to the 69th edition of Tigers Untapped, live from BCM Studios. TJ, here we go. Here we go again.
I shook that one up beforehand.
So, I
forgot
what we were drinking.
Yeah, this is Ghost River Interstellar Mosh.
Straight to the dome of the... we got ourselves a raspberry sour here this evening.
I'm excited about that.
And I forgot about that when I just dove head first into the foam there.
So this is Interstellar Mosh. This is something I learned not that long ago. Mosh is just the new name for the Pink Palace. So if you are 30 and above, you're kind of mad about that. Yeah.
So
it's
yeah,
the Pink Palace.
To us, this is Interstellar Pink Palace. Raspberry sour.
But they have like this whole history of beer thing that they do at Mosh.
So. We should have maybe had this next Monday.
Why?
Because the solar eclipse is happening.
Yeah, I guess to see that.
The sun's a big star, Interstellar. This can, though.
All right, I see. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, right there out the gate.
Wow.
It's like a warhead.
It is kind of like a warhead.
Oh, let's get to it, Timothy.
That is something. Where to start?
Why don't we start with the attendance numbers from this year?
Oh.
Did you see this? Did you read about this? Did you hear about this?
I did not. No.
TG hasn't, so this will be fun. Kenny, did you see this? Hear about this? Read about this?
I saw it on X, but I don't think that's telling me a whole lot.
On X.
Timothy, I'll give you a guess. What was the average attendance for the University of Memphis men's basketball games inside FedEx Forum this season?
Have we ever figured out how they measured this? Is this ticket sold?
They say turnstile count, so the people that walked into the building.
Do you know last year's number that I can base that on?
Last year's number was 7,458 actual attendance average.
Okay, I wrote down, you can see my notes here, 7,500 was my guess this year. So I don't know if that's good or bad.
That is a solid guess. Kenny, do you have a guess? Did you see it already?
I have a guess. I'm going to let y'all just do it. I saw it, but so there's a number sticking in my brain. So
it was actually down. You're over 68-27.
That's surprising to me because it wasn't a bad home schedule.
And I'm fairly certain they didn't. This is coming from the Grizzlies, obviously.
You know what I just thought of?
What?
How do you factor in that snow game?
That's what I'm saying. I don't
12?
think they counted it in this amount for the
okay.
payout. I don't think it was included.
Are you serious?
I'm pretty certain that I saw that.
How much?
6,827 on average. Only twice, I think, did we eclipse the double digit.
That's
10,000.
not great.
Yeah.
And I wish there was a way we could track that through the winning streak and then the downward spiral.
Okay, we had 3 games that drew more than 9,000 people actually walking through the ticket check-ins. You have a guess on those 3? You can probably get 2 of them fairly easily.
FAU is 1.
Nope.
What?
Nope.
No, it's going to be the earlier games. I just can't remember who was at home and who wasn't. Clemson?
Yep.
Clemson, yeah.
Who else was at home?
Probably the best win that we had. Clemson was the highest attended home basketball game with 10,587 in attendance.
Dude, I can barely remember what I had for breakfast. And you want me to remember who we played 3 months ago?
Some of these are really bad. Okay.
3 months ago, 6 months ago.
Virginia was number 2.
Virginia, okay.
At 9,597.
Initially, I said A&M in my head, but I think that was an away game, so it's not going to be A&M.
Confirmed. They excluded the South Florida game. The last one actually caught me off guard, just given the circumstance, like how things had shaken out with the season. UAB was the third game that eclipsed the 9,000 attendant mark, with 9,091 in attendance.
You think that's old Tiger fans just like wanting to dust it off, play UAB again?
I don't know what I mean. Maybe a little bit of it.
AK fans,
senior day. It was all that was like that 4:30 Sunday game. So I remember getting to the Forum and being pleasantly surprised by the crowd. Maybe it's because you'd beaten FAU. You felt like maybe the team was turning around a little bit.
Yeah,
last home game, that kind of thing. But I don't know. There's several in here in the 5,000 range. Jackson State, Alabama State, UTSA, Rice, all at 5,000. Charlotte with 4,800. I mean, not good, Bob.
But do you think those numbers are down because those were all during the downward spiral? Or do you think that is just because it's not a fun game? It's not a fun matchup. Because I could see it going either way, honestly.
I think, honestly, it went south because of the season going south. When your team was rolling with Clemson, Virginia, Vandy, you were averaging a little over 9,500, basically. Mm-hmm. Even with SMU, the SMU game, you had right under 8,000 there, and that was still kind of...
Yeah,
you were still winning games, and then it's UTSA is where it takes the real tumble. You know, I had 5,500 there. Then you had the ice game, so you'd lost 2 by that point, right? Or South Florida was the first one that you lost at UAB. You played Rice at home in front of 5,800. I don't know. It's just, I mean, some of it is obviously like people just don't want to drive down on a Thursday night and watch us play, or a Wednesday night and watch us play Rice.
Yeah, and I think we've seen this with football as well. Remember?
I think we're definitely going to see it this year.
Going back, Lawrence had that article where he announced the ratings and things like that. And I think it's pretty much similar, right? When you start playing kind of lower, and this is not groundbreaking, when you play kind of the crummier teams, no one really shows up for those. Yeah. But I do think that if it is then
if you get beat by those crummy teams, the next game suffer, right?
It's going to be even worse.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's also one of those situations where I think if you are, let's say the Tigers continued that winning streak and they didn't stop and they didn't start to, drop games left and right. Yeah. And let's say it's a 15-game winning streak. I don't think it really matters who you're playing at that point. I think it's too exciting.
Right.
And I think you've snowballed.
Well, that's kind of what you got in that run
with the 10-game.
Right. Well, that and I mean just, in the streak of the Cal run, right? You were playing in sort of a watered down CSA at that point, but you were the number 1 team in the country.
But it's also
it didn't matter who you were playing.
It was fun because you're smashing everybody.
Well, that's right.
And it wasn't, there were a couple of games I think that were relatively close that shouldn't have been, but it wasn't often. Yeah. Right? You were smashing everyone.
Right. Interestingly enough, the Tigers' average announced attendance was up from last season.
Okay.
By almost 1,000. Last year, they announced 11,444 as the average attendance. This year was 12,276.
I was wondering,
how do you get there?
Well, because here's what I was wondering.
That's basically double. I mean, a little less than double.
Do you think that the Grizzlies have a vested interest in? Because don't the Tigers have to pay more if they don't hit certain markers?
No, the Grizzlies. Is it us paying? I thought the Grizzlies.
The Grizzlies pay us
based on us getting
a certain amount
there.
Yeah,
and we were very. I don't know. Let me see what it said.
The concessions and all the utilities and stuff like that.
We were very close from not getting the payment. So let's see. Under the terms, University of Memphis lease agreements, the athletic department receives a maximum payment of $800,000 from the Grizzlies if the Tigers average 10,000 or more. Instead, the university gets partial payment. The specific amount has not been determined. The university is required to disclose it in its fiscal year report, so you won't know until June. But they have, if they get over 10,000, then they'll get a $800,000 payment from the Grizzlies. But it's, I mean, you're averaging 6,800. It's probably going to be a third of that.
Yeah. How much is that? What does that really do in the end? When it's all said and done, it's not really that much money.
Gets them that Hillwood plane.
Just makes sense though why the Grizzlies numbers and the Tigers numbers are so far off, right?
That's wildly off.
Does this make you guys think that, I know there's been a lot of discussion around an on-campus stadium for football. Do you think Tiger basketball needs its own arena? Obviously, playing in an NBA arena is a selling point, really, for playing here. But, I mean, the FedEx Forum, what's the listed capacity is like 18,479 or something? I mean, and we're averaging 6,800 in that thing for a year.
Well, some of that changes once we get the renovations, everything for the
that overall capacity will come down, right?
Well, yeah, you change out. Well, not even the overall capacity. You're going to change out. Let's say the bottom row of terrace is 20 rows. That's probably a little bit more than that actually, but 26. We'll say it's the alphabet. Well, they're going to extend that now. So now your terrace is below club, and you're still in the lower bowl. So I think you're going to start getting people closer to the court.
Yeah, but is that going to help or
I think so. I think that helps.
I think part of the reason some of these numbers are like they are is because of the cost of getting tickets to these games.
To the Tiger games?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, season ticket wise, even single game.
I did the
dynamic pass thing this year, and I was actually pleasantly surprised at how many times they gave me either a club level or a lower level seat.
Yeah.
And I think it was $150 for the whole season.
Yeah.
But if you did like a single game, I mean, some of those bigger Clemson, Virginia, it was probably $75+ a ticket just to get down low. So I felt like I got my money's worth just in 2 games, basically.
For sure.
But I don't know. It's something I've never necessarily. The FedEx Forum is very nice, and even back when we were the number 1 team in the country, I've never felt like it's a good college basketball venue.
It's not.
You just feel disconnected from the way that it's broken out. To your point, like how the club, everything's separated. You feel disconnected, and the student section location, I don't think is. I think the end zone is fine, but I think that the way that it's set up, like, I mean, we see it all the time. People always complain about the student section not standing and stuff, but it's like, well, they're also sitting on a 90-degree angle, so.
Well, that's 45.
You stand up and you're going to fall. No, they're at 90. I mean, they're straight down.
I mean, like, I get the logistics of it aside. Like, the city is not going to be cool with that, and I don't think the U of M and the city want to butt heads by any means. But
I mean, it won't happen.
I get it. It'd be fun because you can move the students down to the court, essentially. Sit them right behind the visitors' bench.
I mean,
I don't let them get rowdy the entire time.
It was like that at the Pyramid. I don't think that this would happen, but even if they were in the opposite end zone that they're in now, I think it would feel a little bit better. Just if that end zone even feels a little bit, and they would be on the side of the visitor bench.
Yeah, there's like, too much spaced out.
Yeah, and it's just too vertical because that's the removable section, and it's just like, I don't know.
I wouldn't be opposed to an on-campus stadium. I just don't think it's ever going to happen. But if something got weird and it did happen, like, I'd be all for it. I mean, I think it'd be more fun.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, a lot of programs are doing that, though. Right?
Yeah, they got the El Marone.
Yeah.
They could just.
Well, we're not too far off. FAU does it.
FAU pulls it off.
Oh, man. Their numbers are about to
dwindle
tank.
even further.
Anyway, I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Always kind of a talking point towards the end of the year when those numbers come out, just to see where they stand and if what the Tigers are reporting is what the actual attendance numbers were. So,
whose number do you trust more, Tigers or the Grizzlies?
I mean, the Tigers are just reporting tickets sold, right? Like, I mean, you got to go with the Grizzlies' turnstile count.
Yeah.
Although there are games.
It doesn't feel that empty, though.
Right, it doesn't at times. But, I mean, you also, to TJ's point, like, I think there's a lot more of the seating at the Forum is club and terrace.
It is.
And so that terrace level is like never anybody in it. And I don't know the number off the top of my head, but there's probably, I mean, if it's 18,004, there's probably 6,000 seats up there or something.
In the terrace alone?
Yeah. You think more?
Probably more, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because you got to think, even the suites, a lot of the suites, the Pinnacle, the Terrace, those are all upper.
Yeah.
You have the standing room now with the Big River Crossing, or no, Big Steel Crossing.
I don't know what it's called, but I know
the big standing room. You know what we're talking about. And they're probably going to do that again.
Yeah,
probably going to bust open another one of those things. So,
all right, we're kind of dancing around the topic. All right, the real topic of this. One of the main reasons why Memphis was able to kind of say we're going to get off Tubby Smith is because of dwindling attendance, and I know it was at record lows during his time.
Mm-hmm.
Does this say anything to y'all, the lack of people showing up to games, say anything to y'all about the state of the program under Penny Hardaway?
I mean, what do you mean by that?
I don't think it's that bad yet.
Well, I mean, if the numbers are dropping, that's obviously not a good look, but that also, as we've said a couple of times, the more you win, the more people are going to be interested in coming, and obviously if you're playing Alabama A&M, Savannah State, Coppin State, if you keep playing games like that, then no one's probably going to come out. But
they didn't play many games like that.
I know, but I'm just saying, I'm thinking more of like how the attendance was with Tubby. Like if you play those lower end games, no one's going to want to come and watch that.
Yeah,
so you kind of set yourself up for failure there. And then with Penny, he's scheduling these harder teams. It was the conference side of things, I think, that hurt them because they weren't winning those games.
Oh, yeah.
If you stack on those conference wins,
well, it was
the
the
numbers are much better.
It was the conference opponents and, the fact that you went on a bad losing streak, right?
Yeah.
Your best attended games were when you were winning, and it was your out-of-conference schedule because you had strong opponents and Power 5 programs coming here. So I think, like we said, that all plays a part of it. And it's only happened once that we didn't get a payment and we averaged below 6,000 attendees for a season since the forum has opened.
2020, the COVID year.
Nope, not counting that.
Penny,
I don't think that counted in the overall just because of restrictions. But it was Tubby's last year.
Tubby's last year, yeah. I was trying to think of Penny's first
Averaged
year.
below 6,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, but I think that was fans boycotting. I think people were boycotting. Like,
Oh, I mean, that was just
for sure.
I don't know that it's even boycotting because boycotting
there's a
in
level
a sense
of care.
means that you care. I think
Right,
I think it was just like total apathy. People just didn't care.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. On a scale of 1 to 10, if 10 is the level of apathy in Tubby's last year, where is apathy with this program right now?
Oh, 10 being like totally apathetic.
10 being 2017. 2018.
It's everybody still cares so much. There's so many people right now that are pissed off and showing that they still care.
I don't know. I think it's about halfway there.
Half?
Yeah.
Really? I was going to give it like a 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think anyone is saying like fire Penny by any. Well, I guess we've been through this. Like there are some people apparently out there. At least it seems that way based off Penny's comments. But I think people are starting to get a little frustrated with how things are going.
Yeah, but again, frustration means caring. It's when people get
I understand,
quiet.
but if the attendance is dropping for a reason, so you can't say. For me, I can't put it at a 2 because that would mean we're at the 8,000 mark. You know, we're not at a 10 or a 12. We're not more than halfway, right? We're a little less than halfway of filling up the stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say
this.
this.
I guess they're making their way there. They don't care enough to maybe show up, but I think they're still watching and still involved at this point. But if you have another incredibly disappointing season next year, I could see it getting up there.
Let's meet in the middle. 3.5.
There you go.
I'll say this in terms of content creation around the University of Memphis. That's what Bluff City Media does. I don't know what it was like in 2017 because I didn't cover the team then, but I know for a fact, like right now, if I were to put in the title of this podcast episode, if I put Penny Hardaway's name in it, it'll get clicks. If I put basketball in it, it'll get clicks. So that to me tells me there are people that still care. They still click on links, right? They still click on videos that have the name of University of Memphis basketball or Penny Hardaway or whatever. So in terms of apathy, I don't think it's there, but they're showing it by not coming to the games. I'll be frank with you, man. Like It may be because they're too expensive. I don't know, but I don't know.
I think it's I don't think you can put it on any one. I think it's several things. I think it's cost, it's lack of quality conference opponents, like exciting teams you're playing. It's performance of the team. Like nobody wants to show up to watch a team that's just lost 4 games in a row.
Yeah.
To Rice and Tulane and whoever, like
USF.
Yeah. Blah. Anyway, the portal is heating up.
700
TJ.
entries, I think I said earlier.
702 interesting entries today. I'm going to ask you, would you, Timothy, welcome back former Tigers Johnathan Lawson and Earl Timberlake, who have hit the portal today?
Wow.
I'll go right now. I think I would absolutely take Earl back.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
Hey, he knows how to win in Boca.
I feel like we've been down that road before. And with Earl, I think there was a confidence issue for me. I did not feel comfortable with him having the ball in his hand because I didn't know what the hell he was going to do.
And his shot looks so
No,
broken.
there is no shot. That's the thing. There's no shot. I don't know.
Like
I don't know what he's going to do with the ball.
Shot putting.
Yeah, is he gonna break the backboard? Is he gonna try to jam it? Like, I have no clue what he's gonna do.
I think
Anytime
he had a
touches the ball.
triple-double this year.
He's too sporadic for me. So I'm not on the Earl train
Goodness
myself.
gracious, Earl. This year for the Bryant Bulldogs, he played in 30 ball games, averaged 35 minutes, shot 62% from the field.
Okay, what was his 3? 20%? 12%? It's something wild like that. It has to be
11.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, dude. I
11
can't trust that guy.
11%. Hey, but he averaged 9 boards and 4 assists, and then a block and a half and a steal and a half a game.
If
That's
you're
fine.
going
If-
and getting for him to be your 3-point guy, then you're sorely.
No, but that's not the thing. It's not, hey, I'm bringing Earl in to be my 3-point guy. It's the fact that Earl doesn't know he is not the 3-point guy.
Well, let's see how many attempts.
How many
he had.
attempts? Yes. How
That's
many
on
attempts?
less-
Didn't shoot a lot.
That's
Not for
on
us.
not even a half an attempt a game.
That's too many already. It's too many. 11%.
He averaged 0.3 threes
So he
a
hit
game.
4
Let's see
all
total.
season.
Well, he shot 116. No, that's free throws.
Okay, I was like, dang.
He only attempted 9 threes this year.
Okay, and how many he hit?
1.
1. I'm out. Count me out. No, you're old.
Well, he
big
knows.
fella.
He knows it.
He knows
only
his
shot
role.
9 threes.
No, that's too many for me already.
Stop it.
No,
I liked Earl when he was at Memphis. I know
I would take 15 and 9 right now with not shooting any threes.
If he
With
would
4
give you
assists?
that, though. You think he's going to give you that? We're not getting Earl from.
I don't know that
DeMatha,
you're getting
okay?
15 and 9. Well, I think you get the 9. I don't know that you're getting the 15. All right, what about J-Law?
I think I would. And it's going to sound funny now because I said no to Earl, but I'm going to say yes to Johnathan.
I think the biggest thing with any of these dudes is that they have a defined role and they're bought into it.
Sure.
If that's the case, then I would.
How tall is Johnathan? 6'8"?
Yeah.
With like a 7'4", 7'11" wingspan.
Yeah.
It was something absurd.
7-11. Shout out to 7-11. What did 7-11, TJ, that I sent you the that hot dog water seltzer?
Yes, I almost threw up. I don't know if it was actually.
Kenny, if we can get those for the next episode, that would be amazing.
Let me find this wingspan. I think if you can get Johnathan Lawson bought in, 7'1" wingspan.
I mean, I felt like he was bought in his redshirt freshman year when he would just come in and knock down threes. This says 6'6".
No, that was his true freshman year, according to TJ.
Look, I got a little twisted.
Whatever, his freshman year.
Yeah, it's my freshman year.
He was a
You know.
true
When
freshman.
he was shooting
What does it
83%
matter?
from 3.
Yeah, it's 6'6" with a 7'1" wingspan. Like, give me that. And if you can just have him hone in on just being that wing that can also defend. Like, I know he's a little slight, so you're going to get some kind of bad mismatches there depending on who he ends up getting lined up with.
Yeah.
But I think he could be beneficial for you. And I know it sounds crazy because I just said no to Earl here, but Memphis is also in a position where they need bodies. I think we have 2 guys coming back.
I think we have like 10 spots to fill.
Yeah, I mean, no, seriously, it's Temple guy is coming back.
So rude, so disrespectful.
Unbelievable.
It's a thing we do now.
Kenny, I felt myself slouching. Is this better?
Much better.
Thing we do. So you have 2 guys returning, technically, scholarship players.
Yeah.
I'm not going to turn down proven guys.
If there's one thing we know J-Law can do is shoot threes. He's a shooter.
Sure, but what I think you can get with Johnathan is Johnathan will more likely be willing to accept a role position if it's a 6-man or someone coming off the bench in a role, as opposed to Earl, who's just collecting hella minutes at Bryant, and you're going to have him come here. Is he going to start for you? Hopefully you can give someone better than Earl.
I mean, probably.
With no disrespect to Earl, of course. But
I mean, this also was kind of me.
Speaking of, we have Earl on the phone right now.
Earl.
Earl wants to talk to TJ.
Speaking of shooters, interesting name popped up, which I don't understand how he's listed as a junior.
I don't know how he has eligibility. I think
It doesn't make any sense to me. But Gibson Jimerson.
Yes, I don't get it.
From St. Louis.
I feel like 2 years ago he was a senior.
A 40% career 3-point shooter. I don't know how ESPN has him listed as a junior. The guy's been playing college basketball since 2019. Make it make sense.
Well,
I guess maybe did he get a medical red shirt his freshman year? He only played 10 games, and then he gets his COVID year.
Yeah, so he's got one
but
more
that's
year
a guy
left,
that's played a lot of collegiate basketball and can shoot the 3 at a high clip. I don't know that he necessarily fits into what we're trying to do, but he averaged 16, 3, and 2 assists this past year.
That fits.
Yeah, I mean,
Fit.
what do you mean he doesn't fit into what we're trying to do? Just because he's not like a runner athlete?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like he's like a spot up. I mean,
I would love a spot up.
Can we have
outside of
multiple
him playing
spot ups?
us? I haven't watched a whole lot of Gibson.
Look, I am all for spot up shooters, but this dude is from Virginia. He's white. He shoots threes. He's a Cavalier. I think we can just go ahead and chalk this one up.
Wait a second.
Okay,
didn't
just
think
remember
about
this
that.
conversation. He's going to go play for the Spiders, if not.
That's true. Staying on the portal, Hitman and now Roman, I think I just saw before we started, has confirmed the Tiggs and PJ Haggerty have mutual. They have both swiped right on each other's portal profiles. Should we do that? Is that a genius idea that we just created Tinder portal? You have like a school account, and then the players go in, and you can just swipe right or left, and let
It would
each other
make
know
this
if
a
you're
lot
interesting.
easier.
If the rumors are true, Arkansas would love that.
Oh,
Well, they're just over there.
wow.
There's power swiping on everybody,
Wow.
man.
Wow.
Straight power swiping.
Sorry.
I would take PJ over anybody we've just mentioned.
Oh, I thought you meant anybody in the league. I'm like, or anybody in the portal. I was like, oh.
Well, maybe in the American.
I thought you meant like anyone in the portal.
Oh, no. Well, I think he is rated up there, though, as one of the better.
I'm sure
I want to say,
yeah. But is that because he's got 3 years left, and obviously he just had a very good year,
Which
on a
is
bad
also
team,
nice.
Which concerns me.
having 3 years. I mean, you're getting a guy that's already proven he can play in the American as a freshman. You get 3 more years, although he could probably, if he wanted to, technically still transfer again.
Yeah, I mean, it's what we've been asking for years and years and years.
But I would be all about PJ.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, he averaged 21, 5, 4 assists, shot 50% basically from the field. Not the best 3-point shooting, but I think so. I mean, it's probably. I think this is about where David Jones was before this year.
But
29%.
Like David Jones, he wasn't. Well, I guess maybe not the exact replica here, but he was also on a bad team. So how many of those are
Right.
forced shots because you have to be that guy kind of situation? So I don't want to hold that against him.
Yeah, but hey, if anything worked out this year, it was David Jones on this basketball team.
It would have been a hell of a 6-man. That's all I'm
Bart
saying.
Torvik has PJ as the number 2 transfer in the portal right now.
Okay.
You know who Evan Maya has? This is why I laughed before we started. Who has Evan Maya has as the number one transfer portal person?
I think so because you stopped.
Yeah.
Well, you said it and you stopped. I get it. I mean, he's talking about Vlad.
Golden.
Vlad Golden. Thank you.
Evan Maya's got him as the number one portal entry right now.
Why does that trigger you so much?
It doesn't. I just thought that was interesting. I think he's good, but like the best guy in the portal right now?
Yeah.
Really? I don't know. I mean, he's going to Michigan, right? Like,
Everybody good from FAU.
he's just falling. Yeah, that's the FAU team members that are good and enter in the portal are just following Krusty to Ann Arbor.
Krusty.
And that won't be the only Michigan talk or anyone moving to Ann Arbor. We'll talk about that when we come right back.
You can't use NIL as a recruiting tool. Like when I go on X and I read a story about USC and how they're pouring a bunch of money into NIL, isn't that in turn, like that story being out there and the chance of a recruit reading that, isn't that using NIL almost like, I know it's like back channel and a little different than literally saying, hey, we're going to give you $6 million when you step on campus.
But it's the same
But it's the same idea. And I think in any open market, free market, business, whatever model you're in, why the hell would I commit to somewhere without knowing how much I'm going to make? Somebody I saw suggest multi-year contracts with the NIL collective, right? If you end up opting out of that contract and going elsewhere in the transfer portal, this is a contract where you'd have to pay 50% back of what you've already made.
Good luck
Now,
enforcing
I think
that.
the issue then runs, you're going there, Kenny. What top-level recruit is in his right mind going to sign that shit?
That's fair.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
That trade pisses me off because we got Marcus Hall. You also altered you altered NBA history with that trade, bro.
Right.
The Lakers were dead in the effing water, bro.
Yes.
Grizzlies poverty ass made that trade happen, bro.
Gave him.
And altered NBA history with that dumb ass poverty ass move, bro. And then like they said, okay, for $500,000 you can have the rights to him. You can buy the rights to Marcus Hall. Well, we just couldn't do it, pal. What?
Cap. And that goes up to the ownership too. Michael
Heisley was a goof.
They only to turn around and contradict themselves after Mark had a good rookie
And
year.
draft Hasheem effing Thabit, bro. Once again, altering NBA history. You altered two NBA dynasties. You altered because you could have. The Warriors dynasty would have never happened because you probably would have drafted Steph Curry if you had a brain, and you would have drafted. You would not have sent Pau Gasol to the Lakers. Us being dummies altered NBA history, bro, twice.
Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
We're back. Before we get to my Ann Arbor, TJ made an absolutely wonderful point during the break. We also, TJ and I just did that entire segment, the first segment there, with just white noise in our ears. We couldn't hear each other. We were just reading lips that entire time. And Kenny came in here, messed with some diddle-dallied with some wires, and it's HD radio in here now. It feels good.
I felt like Helen Keller for a bit.
I'd forgotten what your voice sounded like.
Like I was just like trying to focus on what you were saying that I didn't get it.
But TJ made a damn good point. Talking about PJ Haggerty as we closed out being a good player on a bad team. TJ, what'd you say? Let's go get what?
Yeah,
the best player off like the best Summit League team?
Yeah, just go hammer out the Summit
Where's
League.
our freaking Dalton Connect who played at Northern Colorado, or Grant Nelson at Bama who's from North Dakota State? Like
Zeke Mayo. I mean, there's a couple of these guys.
Should we stop going to get guys with good stats on bad losing teams and go find guys that are coming from winning programs at just a lower level?
I think the problem with this is that teams are starting to pick up on this. So obviously, Grant Nelson going to Alabama.
Yeah.
Zeke Mayo is from Lawrence, Kansas. So like, go figure where he's going to land up. Kind of feels like we know where he's gonna land. But it seems like these guys give a damn, and you're pulling from these lower conference. These guys that feel like they have something to prove, they come up, and they're just incredible.
Winners.
So go ahead. And it feels like it's specifically the Summit League. Maybe not. I haven't checked out like the A10 or the Patriot League, like these random ones.
Big Sky,
Summit specifically feels like they are just pushing out dudes left and right. I have no clue who BJ Omot is. If you want to go ahead and look up BJ Omot, let's see what this guy's got. Like, I mean,
well, you're just looking at the Summit League.
Who is awesome in the
Summit League?
Yeah, I see 6'8". Sign me up.
Straight up North Dakota.
Yeah, I mean 16 and 4. Yeah, okay, I'll take it.
6'8" sophomore. Anyway, TJ, there's been portal news on the coaching staff of the football side. This is where Kenny needs to cue in. I will remember you. After 3 entire, I think he made it through the third one. Yeah, I don't know. He might have left with a quarter left in the third practice.
He left when the media had to walk out.
Our very own Lou Esposito is gone already. We hardly knew ye.
What are you going to do?
I'm just proud of him because, his dream was to coach at Memphis, and he got his chance.
He had it as a goal. He didn't say coach at Memphis for an entire season.
Or for an entire spring camp.
I mean, it's really, really unfortunate.
You know what's crazy about this whole thing? Is he just moved his family to Memphis last week.
It's like,
well, I mean, first of all, when you're getting 6 times the pay just to go to Michigan, I think you do it. And your family, you just got to tell them to sack up.
I mean, yeah, nobody's going to sit here and blame him. It sucks.
We say that. And maybe it's different because he said he wasn't leaving and then he did leaving. But like Cal took that Kentucky job. And like looking back on it now, I don't know why anyone was mad. Like that is like the tip-top job of college basketball.
I don't think anybody blamed him for leaving. I think it was
there was still a lot of people
of
ridiculously mad at him for what reason? Because he left.
Because he took the whole recruiting class with him.
Well, that kind of happens.
I know. They were coming to play for him, not necessarily for Memphis.
And we talk about money. Let's not forget, Memphis was willing to not double, but they were willing to overpay what Kentucky was paying him.
It's not the same, though. It's not the same.
It's not. I mean, again, I'm not blaming Lou. I'm just saying straight up. We thought that was a great hire. He was coming in. He was a co-defensive coordinator. He'd been a defensive coordinator before the FBS level. You got Jordan, who's in his first year at this level. Obviously, he'd been the D coordinator at UT Martin, but felt like that was a guy that was going to be able to help him out, kind of go through his first season at the FBS level as a defensive coordinator. So I feel like it just sucks. Obviously, maybe that pain is mellowed out a little bit if we make another good hire. But at this point, like, I don't know, who you get. Are we just going to end up taking somebody from a lower level school that's...
Well, it's interesting, though, because it wasn't Lou Esposito, the D-line coach. It was Lou Esposito, the D-line, and co-defensive coordinator. So you got... It seems like they didn't feel...
Potentially 2 spots to...
And I don't know if it's a situation where maybe they didn't feel comfortable giving the reins to Jordan just outright, right? Because it's been a while since he's called any type of defensive plays to our knowledge outside of the bowl. And maybe that's why they were trying to work in Esposito as the co-DC as well. Are they going to go out and just get a new DC and be like, okay, Jordan, it actually is just going to be you now making these calls. So who they work in, it's going to be interesting, right? If they want to just bring in anybody,
bring in a DL coach and somebody. Clark gets.
Go grab the DC or the D-line coach from Jacksonville State. They just had 11.5 sacks a game or something. No, not really, but some wild number at sacks last year.
11.5 sacks a game.
Yeah, it was very good. I just made up a number, man.
I mean, that would be incredible.
It would be pretty good, right? 11th in the country is how I should have worded that.
There you go.
But Yeah, like are you just trying to find a guy, or do you need a guy who is also going to play multiple roles?
Yeah,
which is a little harder between D-line and co-DC.
Yeah,
so
I mean it'll be interesting to see what they do and how quickly they fill that role. Do they wait until I don't know?
Ooh, you know,
I mean, I think you're trying to get somebody in here before the end of May, right? Like,
yeah, sooner rather than later, I imagine, because you do have the college football portal.
It opens right after spring.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what day that is exactly because I don't want to lie to you.
Yeah, everybody's on a different spring schedule, but I think, is it May 1st? Does it open on the 1st?
Don't let me lie to you because that's not the date that came to my mind at first. Opens April 15th.
Wow, really?
So, yeah.
So technically before our spring practice is even done.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Now that I think about it.
That's like the Saturday before, no, the Monday before.
Yeah.
Right?
So there's just a lot of moving parts there because at that point you have a general idea of where you fall in the pecking order.
Yeah.
And it's kind of those situations of like, okay, not my place here. I need to go find something elsewhere.
Yeah.
And we've kind of already seen it, right, with Kinley. I think that was kind of the situation there as he realized that
is he entering the portal or is he just like
he's in the portal?
Duh, he is in the portal.
Yeah, he's a grad transfer, so he plays by his own rules. But I think he came here with probably the intention of getting a few more snaps than what he's been getting at practice, running with the ones, things like that. Because I think Pope recruited him. Now that Pope's not here, it's kind of like where do you fall in this line?
Then he had Lou, and now Lou's not here.
Yeah, so a lot of moving parts there. I don't know. It's an interesting time, especially with the portal, to your point, opening before spring ends.
Yeah.
But, you know.
We'll see.
So it'll be open after the spring game, too. So
we've talked a little bit already about just national media and kind of the discussion the Tigers are getting about being that G5 representative. I don't know if you saw this, TJ. I know you did because I sent it to you. College Football Budge, just an X account. He's got 5,000 followers. Put out a little snippet, like a 2-sentence on each of the American Conference teams going into this season. I'm going to read to you and Kenny what he said about your University of Memphis Tigers. They check every box of a playoff team in the 12-team era. Seth Henneken may be the best quarterback at the group of 5 level. Do you guys think that we check every box for a playoff team?
What are the boxes?
I don't know what all those boxes consist of.
Let's put our boxes out. Let's check the boxes. Then.
I will say this. I don't know what all the boxes are. I don't know what College Football Budge's boxes are. But let's say there were 12. We'll go with 12 team. There were 12 boxes. I don't know what they are. I find it. Do we seriously check every one of them?
No.
Surely we're at like 11 out of 12 or 10 out of 12.
I don't know how you can say you check the defensive box, whatever the defensive box is, because it's such a mystery.
Right? Like you can't even. I don't even think you can fill that box in yet.
Well, then maybe that's not a box he's talking about. What are the boxes to be a?
How is the whole defensive side of the ball not a box?
Number one, the whole defensive side of the field is not uncheckable. Linebackers are going to be awesome. Everybody knows that.
No, you know one linebacker.
No, Javonte Mackey is going to be awesome.
You don't know. It's a new scheme. It's a new system.
He's going to be great. Defensive line is going to be good.
Look, I think they will be good, but I'm just saying it's.
I don't know.
We know because we're
D-line. I don't know that I can say they would be.
We're more intertwined, but the secondary is a mystery. You've got a lot of guys you're replacing there. Linebackers, Jeff gone. You just got Chandler back.
Yeah.
You have high hopes for Mackey, but what's his role? Is he going to be Jalen's replacement? Is he going to be an actual stand-up linebacker? What role is he going to play? You have a solid kicker, the Ole Miss guy Costas. Is there an S on the end of that?
I think there is an S.
So do I. He's good. The punter seems good. We've been down that road before. Do we have a backup?
Backup punter? Kicker?
Everything.
In general?
Yes.
I would hope so.
Can we just ask all of the kickers and the punters, special teams guys for the University of Memphis, let's not kick barefooted.
Can they just What?
Huh?
Can they wear precautionary boots and braces on both legs and knees?
Like if they're not practicing,
if they're not actively kicking a ball in practice, then you need to be double booted and double braced up
Steel-toed.
until you're called, until it is your rep within practice. Then
So the rumor about those guys last year was that they were on campus and they saw one of those segways, and there's a few girls around.
Don't do it.
And
Don't do it, man.
they ran over their feet.
ran over there.
Get in trouble, man.
The cop came out,
The cop came out.
stomped on their feet.
Listen.
Baton their feet.
Wasn't there some story about a tandem bike?
That was the question we had. With what happened? Like at the same time?
What?
They were riding a tandem bike and fell over? Like what happened?
They were weird.
Joking
TJ
about
forgot about it.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember tandem bike.
We spent a whole clip riffing on what it could possibly be.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I don't know what the boxes are. I think it's hard to say
Fan base
that.
is a box.
What does the fan base have to do with making the college football playoff?
It just looks like a college football playoffs team. Like, what would you think? Like, if you look at a college football playoff team, you think of a large fan base. You think of a successful offense. You look at coaching staffs. You look at Tim Cramsey. You look at
I think staff is in there for sure. Right. I think probably quarterback is there. Once you
backs,
check.
in general.
I think offense, like you said,
Position
in
player,
general,
yeah.
like having a high-powered, capable offense. The thing, to TJ's point, like defense somewhere, special teams, I think we check. We've talked about that. I think offense, defense, special teams have got to be separate boxes. Defense would be the one to me that I'm like, maybe I'm starting to check it because I believe in Jordan Hankins. But I don't think I can yet.
I'm not willing to check the special teams box until at least one kicker makes it through the entire year. I'm not willing to do it.
Sheesh.
So then, see, you're saying yourself we're not checking every box.
I don't know if special teams is a part of that. Is a
It's gotta
box.
be.
It's
It's a phase of the ball.
It's a phase of the football game. Of everything.
Yeah.
So I don't
Do you
know.
think schedule is on like a favorable, like a schedule in some sense? Because I don't know that our schedules. I mean, our home schedule is very easy, but we drew a pretty difficult. I mean, I don't know. Saying anything about this conference difficult makes me want to not say.
Well,
that.
you've also got an away game against Florida State.
Right. But that's a game like you have nothing to lose in that game.
100%.
You lose that game and you are still right. You're still making the playoff if you win out. At this point, like.
But what happens if you win?
It's a freebie. If you win,
jeez, dude.
I mean, we'll be hiring Lou back from Michigan this time next year. That's what will happen.
To be the head coach because Ryan goes and coaches at Michigan.
Yeah.
That'd be a real curveball there.
I do think, though, from a group of five perspective, I agree with a lot of what the national media is saying, and that we, as of today, we would likely be the favorite to be that representative.
I don't know. I'm torn on it. I do think that Liberty is still going to be good. I don't think Tulane's going to be bad just because they have a coach who's done this before, and he's brought in a really good staff.
Yeah.
They bring in the good quarterback. There's that running back was a freshman last year, and he was obviously very, very good. So they have enough pieces to still be good despite their former coach not being there and stupid Michael Pratt not being there anymore. Like I think that they have enough there to still be a pretty damn good team. I would definitely say Memphis is probably in the top 3 or 4 in conversation of the group of 5. Like I think, we obviously don't follow Liberty and James Madison that closely. Like yes, they've lost their coaches, but I still think
is James Madison finally on the? Are they able to make a playoff?
I think this is the year that they can.
They're finally on their out of their. I don't even know what you would call it.
The quarterback went
Restriction.
back to Liberty, I believe.
Did he?
Yeah, he had entered the portal.
And he.
I'm
you're
pretty
I
sure he
think
went
withdrew.
right back. Yeah.
Hey, that's not to say he couldn't go right back in the portal.
Well, it would be weird at this point, though. So I think that they are set up to be successful as well. And I think all throughout the summer leading up into fall ball, we're just going to consistently see Memphis in the top 5. I think it's going to fluctuate depending on who's
I'll say
writing the
this.
article.
It's going to be an exciting build up to the season for sure. We got Saturday day stripes coming up in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Saturday.
I'm looking forward to Phil Steele and his encyclopedia of knowledge and seeing where he puts the Tigers going into the season. That won't be out till like July.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, let's rank this Interstellar Mosh Raspberry Sour.
Got a little bit left.
Which is so on point because we've got a solar eclipse coming up. I think this is the last full solar eclipse for
Ever.
No.
It is something
50 years or something?
Yeah, it's something that we're not going. Most of us will not have another go round with it.
Did you have you gotten glasses?
Yes, actually, Julian picked them out at Kroger. He didn't know what he was grabbing, and he wouldn't put them back. So.
Make sure you got legit ones. You don't burn your retinas. My parents are headed up to our family lake house in Arkansas because that is in the path of the 100% coverage.
Our neighbors are actually going to BB, Arkansas.
Really?
Because that's apparently where it's supposed to be the best. But apparently
but
it's also supposed to be cloudy and rainy that day too. So
really?
It's awesome.
Well, you're still a week out. That could change.
Yeah, we got married in Hot Springs, and Hot Springs is also one of
in the path.
The intertotality.
Hot Springs is probably going to be packed on Monday.
We thought about it, and we're like,
I mean, it was packed for y'all's wedding.
Well,
y'all are very popular.
And that was just like in the middle of October. It's going to be packed for the solar eclipse, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. I was trying to look up where the pathway here, but I can't figure it out. But yeah, I think it's all throughout the mid.
Do we know what
Arkansas.
time it's supposed to start?
I think we'll be at work.
I know the last one was at like, what was that, 2017 or something? 2018? It was at like...
We had a Redbirds game for work.
Really? I remember we were at work. It was like 150 or something. We actually, funny enough, we had I can't believe I'm telling this. We had a guy send an email that he wasn't coming in that day. Mind you, the solar eclipse is at 1:50 in the afternoon, and we were also in Memphis, which was not, we didn't get total coverage here. Sent an email about 8:50 that morning that he wasn't coming into the office because he lived in Bartlett and he tried to make his way in, and solar eclipse traffic was too bad, so he turned around and went back.
I get that. No, I get that. Solar eclipse
That
traffic.
heavy traffic for the solar eclipse in Memphis.
I'm trying to find a time frame for you. I got nothing. I don't want that. Get out of here, commercial appeal. Partial blockage begins at 12:33. Totality begins at 1:51.
Whoa.
And maximum begins at 1:52. Totality ends at 1:54. Partial eclipse ends at 3:06.
We're talking about literally like a 3-hour event. I didn't know it was that.
That's in Little Rock. So,
but still.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it lasted that long.
Dude, I remember going outside.
That's what she said.
Not even that long ago. And there was just like a little bit of an eclipse. Just like a little bit of an eclipse.
Yeah.
And I walked out and I was like, it's like fuzzy out. Like, what's going on? And my wife was like, as if you don't know her. Alicia was like, yeah, there was an eclipse earlier. I'm like, no, there's still something going on right now. It looks like I'm looking through like a slice of paper or something.
Filter.
Yes. And she's like, no, it's gone. And I'm like, no, look around. Like, I'm telling you.
There's like a haze.
Yes. I was like, something is happening here. And she was convincing me that I was insane.
I saw I think it was a TikTok, I don't know, a video that somebody had taken. I think they were in like Austin or something from the last one. It was hilarious how fired up people were getting when the totality happened. Like just, dude, I don't know. But there was thousands of people out in the park watching, and they just, just screaming like it was so incredible. It was weird though.
Yeah, we were at a Redbirds game and the freaking stadium lights came on.
Yeah.
Midway through the afternoon.
It's so weird. Did they pause the game?
Yeah, actually. They
Really?
did. Yeah.
Wow.
So we agree the can is fitting.
I do.
We're a
I
week
mean,
early.
I like this. I think, typically given Ghost River lower ratings because, like Memphis made, they're very similar. They have the cypress or whatever this tree is. But I'm giving them a little credit here because this is good. They're still including the cypress, but it's clearly intergalactic.
Intergalactic. I gave it a 6.4. I think that's what I'm going here.
On the cam?
Yeah, because I agree.
I feel like it's a little higher. I'm going like 6.6.
I agree. I think it is pretty cool just due to the fact that it is got the little stars on it. You guys can't see this probably by any means, but it is the tree. It's kind of a boring can, but it's a Mosh can.
I like the color on it.
Gets bonus points. You say 6 what?
6.6.
6.6.
Felt like I liked it.
What about the brewski itself?
I enjoyed this sour.
You know what? I hate sours.
After the initial
punch,
right, when I was just dove straight in, not remembering that it was a sour right off the bat. This was good, especially for being raspberry sour.
I'm trying to look back on the previous sours that we've done because I do not care for sours and agree the first sip was literally a punch to the face.
Right, but then I feel like it almost mellows out after that.
Yeah, maybe I just get used to it. I can't remember. We gave the Raz Wheat from High Cotton. You gave it a 5. I gave it a 4.8. I'm letting you know this is much better than that.
I remember that Raz Wheat. This is way better.
This is much better.
It also may be that you had these sufficiently ice cold because you brought them in the
They're
cooler.
in a cooler over here. I think I'm going to go like 6-7. This is on the cusp of I would have a second one. And I don't like sours.
I'm going in the 7s, and I would definitely have a second one, and I will definitely probably get this outside of the show. I mean, I'm not going. It's probably I'll go like 7-1.
I'll say for episode 69, I'm gonna raise it to a 6.9 because it's on the cusp of me actually wanting another one, which I'm very shocked about.
Like I wouldn't have been mad about this being a pint.
They just don't do it. You said 7.1?
Yeah.
All right, that takes us to a.
It's in there.
6,
It's a great.
7.5.
This is good. This is a good sour beer.
I am beside myself for
Pleasantly
enjoying it too much.
surprised?
Yes. I did not see this coming. All right.
We know you do see us coming. It's back next week if we make it through the solar eclipse and you bring a cold beer and stay for the hot takes. Peace.
We're gonna die?
I don't know what I mean.
What do you mean by that?
You never know.
If you enjoyed this episode of Tigers Untapped, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Like and subscribe at Bluff City Media's YouTube page. Head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co for comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports.